Oh my God, she's so beautiful. I feel so intimidated. I don't know what to say. Wow, these guys are cool. How do I make sure I come across as cool too? Hi again. So in last week's video, I was talking about letting your light shine, as my good friend Jazz calls it, being as authentic as possible, having that beautiful expression of your character where you're just having fun and vibing with people. But what if you're someone that really struggles to vibe with people? What if you find it super hard to let go? What if you are one of those people that just never really knows what to say? That's what we're going to get into today, so let's do it. Alright, first of all, I want you to remember something, and that is that not everybody has a great vibe all of the time. Even that example of Russell Brand in last week's video, like it's very unlikely he gets up first thing on a morning, pats his wife's ass and shouts, "For the Queen!" No, don't say that, please. Or maybe he does, I don't know. But the chances are there's probably times in his day where he's in a more of a practical headspace, where he's not in that flow state and is in more of a state of focusing on the task at hand and what he needs to be doing. Obviously, if you haven't seen last week's video, then go check that out. My point here is that we all have these like different moods, and if you're going to meet your new friends or you're going on a date with a girl and you're not feeling your best authentic self, then don't beat yourself up about it. However, if you are someone that struggles to make conversation, then I thought it would be fun to give you some of the insights from my experience of this, because I used to struggle to make conversation too. As I've said before, I'm actually naturally introverted, so for me, going out and making new friends, talking to girls I didn't know, it never really came easy. But what I can tell you, after pushing myself to talk to thousands of strangers in my life, is that the more you talk to new people, the more you automatically learn how to talk to new people, because you become more calibrated. You become better at managing your vibe, and also the better you become at pumping their vibe. Which, remember, this is something you should always be wanting to do, spreading that "what can I give" vibe instead of having that "what's in it for me" vibe, which most other people have. The bottom line here is that experience will teach you more than me or anyone else on a YouTube video can ever teach you. Okay, we're going to get a bit more technical now. So basically what's happening when you're stifled and you're finding it difficult to make conversation with people, it's because your communication is getting filtered through this insecurity layer in your mind. It's often a very noticeable voice in your head that's thinking, "Oh, what if this person doesn't like me?" Or "I hope she doesn't notice my weird nose," or some other nonsensical jargon that sabotages your authenticity. Other examples might include you trying to act in a way that's trying to impress, or you're trying too hard, or you're just being so up in your head that you can't hold the conversation at all. These are all things that are going to kill the vibe. Conversely, when you get out of your head, this pumps your vibe. The conversation just flows effortlessly, and when your vibe is pumped, you draw other people into that reality, which then pumps their vibe too. There is ways to do this, and we're going to get into them in a second, but this isn't going to happen overnight. This is going to take a long time before you get really good at being able to vibe with people. So, like I said at the start, repetition is the most practical step that you can take to get better at this. Other things you can do are things like meditation to quieten that inner voice, getting your body moving. Remember, our emotional state is hugely affected by our physiology. You've probably noticed that if you're playing a game with friends, your vibe is pumped and you're tapping into that fun letting go state. So opening up your body, breathing deeper and getting those shoulders back, this all helps too. And probably the most important thing of all is take a genuine interest in what the other person has to say. This will help hugely, and also it'll help to quieten that voice in your mind as well. There's also things you can do before meeting up with friends or going on dates, like making conversations with strangers on your way to the meeting. Tell a granny what a nice hair colour she has, or say hello when you pass someone who's walking their dog, and if they're friendly back, stop and pet their dog for a few seconds. This kind of stuff really helps to pump your vibe. One thing that I do not recommend is that you rehearse what you're going to say. That will absolutely kill the vibe. But imagining the energy you want to bring to the interaction and visualizing you all having a good time, this can be a great exercise that helps. I hope you see the difference there. A couple of other things that I want to point out is don't talk about war, religion, politics. They're not great topics to talk about, especially not with new people that you don't know very well. They will bring the vibe down faster than a SpaceX rocket. And also in the conversation, if you come up with like some really witty line, but then the moment has passed, if you've thought of it too late, then don't use it. When it comes to humour, timing is everything, and if you say that witty line 5 seconds too late, it's just gonna come off as like all weird and off. Alright, so like I said, nothing helps more than practicing having conversations with strangers. Start making it a habit to just talk to anybody, anywhere, and eventually what you'll notice is you'll start to pick up on little changes that happen in your communication. You'll start being able to hold conversations for longer. You'll become naturally better at being able to steer the conversation where you want it to go in a very natural, fluid way. I highly recommend everybody does this. It's just a great thing to do in life, is to get competent at being able to talk to people, whether you know them or not. It doesn't matter whether they're strangers or they're people that you've known for years. Having a good ability to have good conversation is a very important tool for your toolkit in life. And that is the end. If you got something from this, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.